Hi everybody, my name is Christian Horner and I am in Westfield, Indiana, and I teach at Westfield High School. One of the things that I do during the day is teach AP Physics, and then the rest of the day I am a Technology Integration Specialist, which is just a big fancy term for I go in and help teachers use technology with their students. One of the things that I love to do when I'm tutoring is use the program called Kami. Kami is a really powerful app that will allow you and the person that you are tutoring to go through and annotate documents, draw on documents, do all kinds of really awesome things. So what I'm going to show you here is how to sign in, and basically what you'll do is you'll go to kamiapp.com, then you'll click on the sign in button and you want to sign up for free. You're going to use the free version. It's more than adequate for what you want to do. So I'm going to continue with Google. And I'm going to pick my Google that I want to use here, and then you'll have to allow Kami to do some things inside of your pages and things. So what you'll notice is when it comes up, it will say open a file or create a new blank page. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a blank page first, and when I start with the blank page, you can go in and you can actually choose a lot of different things. So for example, let's say that you are tutoring math or science and you need a grid. And so I'm going to click on grid and then I'm going to say add. And on the page, you'll notice that you do have a grid. You can zoom in on that grid to make it bigger. You can also zoom down to make it smaller. So there are certain things you can do with the free version. Most of these things, all these things are really excellent for probably what you're going to do if you use it. And the first one is drawing. You can choose how big the pencil or the whatever you want to call it, marker, paintbrush, whatever you're going to use, how you can choose how thick it is. And so I'm going to choose number 2. Then you can go through and you can also choose colors. You can choose gradients, whether it's transparent or not, and then the type of stroke, whether it's just a normal line or it's a dotted line, one of the two. I have a drawing pad and love the drawing pad because then I can draw my lines a little bit straighter, so I can go left and then I can go right. So if I'm trying to draw a graph, I can do that. But what's really nice, and here it'll tell you after you get started, you can either save this to your Google Drive or to your OneDrive. And so I'm going to say save to Google Drive, and it's going to upload right into my Google Drive. It's created a folder called Kami Uploads, and this one's called Grid. You can change the name too. So I'm going to erase what I did because I don't like those lines. They're not straight enough for me. So instead, I'm going to go down and I'm going to insert line. When I do that, now I can draw a very straight line. And if I want to, I can also click on the line. And when I click on that line, it should give me some options. There we go. One of those options is to add an arrowhead to that line. So I'm going to add an arrowhead. It's gigantic. I see that. And then I can go back and I can do the same thing again. And I'm going to draw one going in this direction. And then I'll select it again and I can put another arrowhead on to show now I've got my X and Y axes. So that's really nice. The feature that I really enjoy and love using with the students is going into my Google Drive and then pulling something open that I can use in order to help maybe kind of show them some things or help them fill in a worksheet, that type of stuff. So if I go in, I can also, I'm going to pull this up and I'm going to select it. And this is just a document that I had within my drive. And when it comes open, you'll see that I've got some things for students to take a look at. So maybe you want to go through and have them highlight something. You can go back into the drawing tools again, and this is where that transparency is really nice. So I'm going to move it down so that it's pretty transparent. I'm going to choose a nice yellow color, and then I'm going to make this a lot bigger. So I'm going to make the stroke thickness big enough that it looks like I'm highlighting. So here I can say think carefully. If it's not yellow enough, then I can kind of scoot this up a little bit, and then it gives me a little bit less transparency, but gives it that really nice classic look that you might want. You can also do text boxes. So I can go into text box, I can choose a color, click anywhere on the document, and then I can type in anything I need to say. So you could comment on something if you wanted to, or have the kids do that. There is a way that you can just reset your formatting and those type of things. You can insert links there. You can do almost everything that you want to do as you go through. There is an equation feature, however, you'll have to pay for the upgraded version in order to use it. You can also make audio comments as you go. The comment section, you can do text comments, voice, video, and screen captures are all additional. So I can click somewhere and then make a comment on the document itself, and then students can come over and see that. They can also write a reply. The best part of this is being able to work with a student. So it might be I go in and say, okay, I want you to, underline everything that you think is super important, or highlight everything that you think is super important. To share this with a student, you have to save it. So I've saved it first. Then I'm going to say share document. And you can make anybody with the link the editor. So while I am in Zoom, what I'll do is I will go down, make sure it says anyone with the link, an editor, and then I can say copy. So I'm going to copy it, and then I'll go into Zoom and I will give them that link. And when they open the link, it will ask them to log on. So because it's not asking me to log on, I'm just going in and I see the same document. But if you have a student, what will happen is you'll see a couple of different documents to be able to go in and just see that, yes, they are in. You can tell that they're in because you'll see them down at the bottom. So that's the really cool thing. You can type some things, they can type them some things. Then when you're all done, what's really nice is you can go up to download, and I can save this to my computer with the annotations, or I can save it to my Google Drive. I like to make a folder for each one of my students that I'm tutoring. Then I can go in, I can select that folder, and let's just say that this one is, I'm just going to put it in this one called Cami, and when I do that, I'm able to select it, and then it will save everything that I just did with all of the annotations. And then that way when I go into Google, I can either send a link to a student so that they can see it, or it automatically goes into their drive that I have set up for them, and you'll see it will say Cami export and then tell what that item is. And that is Cami in a nutshell.